Alright guys, so today we are going to be talking about synthesize. So I think this should have been a topic that I should have done prior to yesterday's video, because I think a lot of people, or there's one particular comment, is actually pretty good. That person actually gave me a lot of in-depth information, assuming that I did not, or I should have done my synthesis. So yeah, so I was like, maybe I should have done this video first, so the video yesterday would have looked a little bit more impressive as far as that intermediate mailing build. But in this video, obviously we are going to go over pretty much everything you need to know about the synthesis. I think synthesize, however you want to say it, is actually a fairly game-breaking thing you can do. So first and foremost, if you are trying to synthesize a part, you can obviously pick from various parts that you have already owned. So you guys can see I can select from the parts material, or you can actually use the plastic material as well. So these are things that you accumulate throughout the course of playing the game. I believe even the synthesis actually, you can unlock it fairly early onto the game, so a lot of people actually took that opportunity to actually improve it upon whatever the unit is. So the first part is actually increasing the level. So you guys can see if we are using these plastics, we can actually improve upon our levels. So my current level cap is going to be 38, so my L-Strike Gundam head is actually currently at level 28. So what we can do, I'm actually just going to be using the level 4 version of the parts enhanced, because this one is going to level up much more faster. So if we do this, you guys can see we can rapidly increase our level to whatever the cap that needs to be, and that's kind of it. It's pretty much going to be increasing some of the base stat, like whatever the specs this headpiece is offering, which is increasing the reaction speed and then HP. Simple as that. Every piece of its own has its unique spec that is improving upon, while the headpiece simply is improving that. So part enhanced, this is what it does, it increases the levels. So I think we can just confirm it real quick, and then we have that done, right? Let's yeah, let's see. Yeah, we have that. Did we not have it done? Let me see, hold up. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, so it's gonna take a lot. Let me see, let's do that again real quick. Oh, I should have hit next, so next should have been what I should click and not confirm. But you can see it takes really fast once you get up to that status, right? So a level 38 it is, and then we can just hit confirm, tap, and then it's gonna ask you to confirm. It's gonna tell you what are the specs afterwards. So as far as my reaction speed, we went from 128 to 132, and the HP went up by a substantial amount as well. And then now we can synthesize with that. All right, we are done. Perfect. The other thing we should talk about, the part level. The other synthesis also revolve around the plastic as well, is the part evolve 1, 2, and 3. So this essentially increases the rarity of the part. So you can see as far as the rarity of the L-Strike Gundam's head is currently sitting at 5-star. The next cap we have is the Gold 6-star, or it does not actually show up as 6-star, but you can see as we are increasing the rarity, it's going to take a lot actually, and it's really slow to get up to that status. But once we have unlocked the gold for this one, we are essentially going to be able to unlock 2 additional ability. You guys can see we have 2 additional ability slots that are currently open. So at that point in time, we can actually go ahead and talk about the next thing, which is the abilities. So let's do the same thing, and then we can do this as well. All right. But what's cool about having a part at the gold status, max rarity, you can also get something called the master skill. So the master skill only happens to a part that has, I believe, the burst skill. They actually, you can actually use a burst skill regardless of having the part equipped or not. I will actually upgrade a part to max that has the burst skill, so you guys can see how that actually works. Okay, let's get that done first. But I actually want to talk about the ability as well, because the plastic that covers the, let's see, so the plastic that covers the level, the rarity, we got that covered. But the next thing is actually these. So why on earth would you ever use your material to actually upgrade if it's going to take a long time rather than using this one? Because the ability actually comes into handy. So you can see every part actually has an ability, right? And what that actually does is, since our Elstrike Gundam head has 2 additional ability unlock slots, we can actually pick and choose ones that we can actually put onto the Elstrike Gundam head as well. But we obviously do want to choose carefully. We want to see what we already have. So we have reaction speed performance up by 17%. So this one innately boosts whatever this stat is right now. So that's why it is higher than what it is. The next one, we have HP recovery. When part is lost, we gain HP. And then this one is the time reduction, charge level 19. So this essentially reduces our time needed to charge up our ranged weapon, essentially, or like that, or any of the weapon that needs it, like your close range weapon that needs it. So that works as well. This one is the item drop rate quality level 8, and we have the max duration hit bonus up by 18%. And then lastly, we have the extended ability or extended activation awakening level 14. So essentially what we can do, we can either find 2 additional new abilities that we do not already have, or we can actually choose abilities that are currently in here but actually increase our level. So let me actually just find a few parts that are high in rarity, because as you have higher rarity, usually the percentage are actually quite high as well. So for example, we take a look at Quest Dog Jig Doggo here. So this one actually provides us with the performance level as well as the awakening, the extended awakening as well. So if we actually pick this head and then synthesize, for example, you guys can see both of them are already in here, so we cannot actually add it. But you guys can see we can actually increase the level of these two. So we did start at 17, and it's gonna take multiple copies in order to get up to the maximum level, which is level 30. So maximum level 30 is what we are at currently, and we can further improve upon the ability of that. So we have that. So I am gonna find a few succession part that has the same thing, and then we can take a look at how powerful it is, right? Obviously. Okay, so we have that. Okay, and then it's gonna ask me, do I want to use that? And obviously I do. Begin synthesize. But this is just the example. What I primarily want to do, I want to use this test melee build to show how powerful this melee build can be. Specifically, I want to target my melee weapon. So since this is primarily a melee build, I want to see how powerful the melee build can be. Okay, so I actually took the liberty of upgrading both my melee weapon to level 38, which is our current cap. And what we are going to do as far as the synthesis, we are going to replace and actually improve upon some of the abilities that we are having in here. So I believe some of the abilities I don't really want, like for my left weapon, I'm not really using a twin blade, so there's really no point of having that. Same thing as this one, the flinch gauge, I don't really need that actually. And then we do have this one where it increase our EX skill gauge when defeat an enemy with an EX skill. So I don't necessarily need those abilities. So what we can do, we can go through the whole synthesis process and just try to get some better part. But before I actually go synthesis, I am going to show you guys what our current power is, so you guys can get a feel of how strong we are at the moment prior to replacing everything. So let's actually do a quick testing mode, and then we will see what's gonna happen. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go through a few succession of melee chains. So let me just use this one real quick. So let's kind of see what kind of damage we are looking at. So that's not bad. We came up at like the 45k, so that's pretty good. And then let's try our EX skill. Let's try this one real quick. Wow, we came up at 107k, pretty nice. And then we will use one of our OP skill. Let's see. Whoops, not that again. Whoops, I messed up. Okay. 39k. Alright, so that's going to be our benchmark, and then after that we are going to see if we can see any improvement. I hope we do see improvement. If not, I am going to take a big L on this one. Alright, so it took me a hot minute to actually go through all the parts that I have to actually get to where we're at. So let me see what we have for this one here. So I kind of went for a little bit of everything. Or close range, not 20, OP, EX, wild dance, and then OP reduction, skill cooldown reduction as well. So this is kind of for general. There is one specifically for I think it's close range, but I ultimately probably will be using these sets of close range weapon for my melee or for the shooting based build anyway, so that's why I'm like, why not go for something that's a little bit more generalized, and we have that. We also did increase the extended activation for the hyper trace as well. So these are essentially increasing the timer you have on, let's say, your Transam, hyper mode, or whatever awakening they are. So that is actually pretty nice. Well, not the actual awakening, but I mean like the your Trans M stuff and whatnot. And then the other one, same thing again. We have the base, a close range weapon right there, more skill cooldown reduction. So we have how many percent is that in total? That's a good -4%. So it's gonna allow us to proctor more OP skill in general, so that's actually pretty good. And then wild dance EX, so we have close range EX and then wild dance OP, so both of them are actually different. So I went for a spread right there as well, and then we have this again. So let's kind of get into the testing. I'm not really sure if we'll get like a really big improvement, but if we see maybe just a tad more, I think that just shows how impressive the Synthesize is actually. Testing money wise, I think we can do engage this turn off as well, so at the same time you guys can kind of see how well the OP recharges. So I guess we can start things off by some close range melee hit as well. I don't think it was as impressive. I think it's roughly about, just gauging by that, I think it's roughly about the same damage. So now the IFS units, so let's see. Okay, so we were up by roughly 4,000, so not a lot. I think originally we were at 107, now we are at 112. Not the most impressive, I say. And then what about this? Okay, so now we are at 41 rather than 40 or 39, so it's alright, but as far as the recovery wise, you guys can see it's kind of decent. If we were to change everything, right, I think we should be able to continuously just pop EXQ, and that's kind of it. The most noticeable one is probably going to be the flamethrower actually, because that one does have a 20 seconds cooldown, and yeah, I guess just by looking at it from the eyes wise, it is coming faster for sure, right? Knocking that down by like a good 4%, so 15 seconds, somewhere around there. Yeah, that's good. I mean, the flamethrower isn't gonna do much, but something, right? Alright, so sure. Okay, so I am gonna upgrade just this backpack all the way to max rarity cap, because I do want to obviously show you guys the master skill. So just as a backpack does has the burst action, EX skills and whatnot, so after we synthesize, we should be able to equip it onto our EX skill, or not, the OP weapon as well. So you guys can see max rarity, we have that as well. So let's take a look at that real quick. Okay, if I end this right now, and then if we hop over to our skill, that's, yeah, this right here, yeah, setting master. So you guys can see, even though I am not equipping just this backpack onto our testing unit right now, but we can still use the backpack. So how that is gonna look like, let's go to the testing ground real quick. Okay, so we can just activate our skill real quick, and then we can activate our G. Yep, so you guys can see we did have an infinite, or just this backpack right there. So activate this again, and then if we press the G again, yeah, yep. So even though we don't have a Justice backpack, but because we do have a Justice back part all the way at max cap, that does allow us to actually use it. So that's pretty much all I do want to show you guys as far as the Synthesize. I think that's definitely one of the more groundbreaking feature in this game, because you are able to just mix and match a lot of the stronger abilities. So even though you can be starting out the game, you may not have the best role, like as far as getting the part itself, you may not have the best ability to start things out with, but if you do synthesize, you can definitely get a lot of really strong option. As you guys can see, we did do a very good amount of damage after we exchanged for different abilities, so that's definitely pretty good. So that does allow me to progress through the game a lot more easier with this current bit of self. But other than that, that is pretty much what I want to showcase up in this video about everything you need to know about the synthesizings, and I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.